It was a bright and crisp morning when the little dog, a scruffy and adventurous creature with a coat the color of sand, found the bone. He had been sniffing around the marketplace at the edge of the village, weaving through the legs of busy people, when the tantalizing smell of roasted meat caught his attention. He followed his nose, and there, lying on the ground behind a butcher's stall, was the most magnificent bone he had ever seen, thick, meaty, and coated with bits of rich, savory marrow. With a joyful bark, the dog darted forward, grabbed the bone in his jaws, and bounded away before anyone could stop him. He ran past the bustling village square, where children laughed and chased each other, and then through the tall grass of the fields, until he reached the quiet edge of the forest. Here, beneath the shade of the ancient oak trees, he thought he would finally have peace to enjoy his treasure. His tail wagged furiously as he lay down and began to gnaw at the delicious bone. But as he chewed, his ears pricked up. He heard the faint sound of running water. Curious, and perhaps thinking he might find a good drink to wash down his meal, he picked up his bone and trotted toward the sound. Soon he came upon a wide, slow-moving river. The sunlight danced on the surface of the water, creating shimmering patterns that seemed to ripple endlessly. The dog approached the bank and leaned over to peer into the river, the bone still clamped tightly in his jaws. That was when he saw it. Another dog staring back at him from the water, and, most enticingly, that other dog had a bone too, a bone just as big and juicy as his own. For a moment he froze, tilting his head in confusion. Who was this dog? Why did he have a bone just as good as his? Greed began to whisper in his mind. That bone could be mine, he thought. His eyes gleamed with ambition as he stared at the reflection. He imagined himself with not one, but two bones, a feast fit for a king. Without thinking, he barked, a loud, sharp sound that echoed through the quiet forest. But as soon as he opened his mouth, disaster struck. His own bone, the real one, slipped from his jaws and tumbled into the river with a soft plop. The water swirled, carrying it away, out of reach. The dog watched in horror as his precious bones sank beneath the surface and disappeared. He pawed at the water desperately, splashing and whining, but it was no use. The river was too deep, and the bone was gone. Only then did he realize the truth. There had been no other dog, no other bone. It had been his own reflection all along. The dog sat down by the riverbank, his head hanging low. The bone he had been so proud of, the one he had guarded and cherished, was gone, all because he had wanted more. He sighed, his tail drooping, and began the long, slow walk back to the village. His stomach growled, and his heart felt heavy with regret. As he trudged home, he couldn't help but think about what he had lost. But perhaps, deep down, he also learned something important. Sometimes, being content with what you have is far better than losing it all to greed.